Hey, how you doing, Demetrius? So, really glad to have you here. Previously, we got to interview Morrison's, and that was very fun. We're glad to now be interviewing you. Um, First, I would like to start off by saying something nice about every candidate. And you have been an excellent minister of recruitment for the past, few months. It's been great to see you getting new people, some of which have, stayed around for longer periods of time and have become more permanent citizens. And it's really good to see you excelling in such a position. And, I'd like to do this. We all know that Morrison's is running for premier, but for other people who may not know, I'd like to ask, are you shooting for premier, MP, or are you open to either?
Both.
Yeah, that's good. It's always good to, be open and do whatever you can for Thalvion. Now, if you were to be elected premier, who do you think you'd appoint as ministers? Do you have an idea of who you want to appoint, or do you have a process that you're thinking of?
Yes, I do have an idea of who I would appoint, just not sure of three, I guess.
Okay. Are those not sure if three of the minister positions?
Yes.
What are the minister positions you're sure of?
Minister of War will be Healy, Minister of Media will be Luke, Minister of Infrastructure will be Elysium, and Minister of Treasury Soyuz.
Yeah, definitely. I think those people have done excellent jobs in those respective fields. I mean, I know Soyuz, I've seen Hyperslavia recently. He's been doing a ton of brewing, which is really exciting. Um, and I'm curious about what your plan may be for foreign policy, because I know that in the past, Thalvion has struggled without, allies and not having people to come and help us. And Healy, I remember the last war had to do a lot of last minute alliance building. Do you have any plan for foreign policy?
Yes, we did struggle a lot, unfortunately. One of my plans will be to appoint Sicilian, which from what I heard has good relations with many nations and is a lawyer in the UNO. Yes, he might be inactive, but he promised me he will be active and strengthen the diplomatic relations of Thalvion.
Yeah, it's important to get, people who are going to be active and will work hard at their positions, and also, so you can play to their strengths. Like Sicilian has a relationship with a lot of different nations. Now, something else I'd be curious about would be your policy towards the expansion of Thalvion. I know certain people have been talking about expanding the nation, whether that be through buying new territories, or Healy even mentioned that if, Thalvion grew a little more powerful with its military, we could um, attack other nations, which is, there are certain people who would be pro or anti to that. Would you say that you are pro expansion, or would you want to focus more on consolidating right now?
In terms of expansion, I am pro to army expansion, not territorial expansion, because we would have to spend a lot of money for war preparations again.
100%. It's very costly to expand in that way, and a lot of that money could be going towards consolidation, which is very important. And if you are elected premier, do you have any, or even if you're not elected premier, do you have any big goals that you'd want to accomplish within the nation?
One of my big goals would be to strengthen the economy. As I said, I will appoint Soyuz as Minister of Treasury, and I believe with Morrison's to help him too will result in our economy to reach its peak. Through many ways.
Yeah, I know that you've sort of tend to be on the other side of the, I guess, Thalvian political spectrum than Morrison's, but it's good to see that you can work together and bridge that gap and try to work together with other politicians within Thalvion to get stuff done. And speaking of Thalvion politics, I know that you have recently formed the Thalvion Monarchist Front. Is that the name? I probably completely screwed up the name. United Monarchists. It's exciting. what would you say your stance is on the powers of Bato within the nation, as well as the premier and the parliament? Do you believe that we should continue with their current system? Do you think there should be some sort of change in favor of the monarchy?
I don't think we should change the system at all. I support democracy. The people should have a say. It is called Monarchist because we support Beto. He has worked really hard to get Thalvian to where it is.
Yeah, I think that's a really good position. I personally think very similarly. You know, Bato has done a lot for the nation, but of course, democracy has its role in allowing people to have a say in what happens. And one final question. If you are not elected premier, what will you try to do as an, hopefully member of parliament to push forward your agenda and your ideas for Thalvion?
Through media.
Yeah, that's intelligent. I mean, I know that I've managed to sort of make my way and try to influence people and hopefully, to see the light through XNN. And I know TBC is good for covering things and helping people formulate their opinions. But, I'm really glad to have you on. It's good to hear what you plan to do for Thalvion if you're elected MP or Premier even. That would be very exciting. Thanks for coming on. This is XNN TBC signing off.